How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the Columbus Blue Jackets franchise mode, episode 2, ready to kick off year number 1, the 2020-21 season. In the last one, we took over the Columbus Blue Jackets. They gave us the keys to the arena. We settled into our new office, and we started to look at what does this franchise have to offer us. Obviously, Emil Bemstrom is just a placeholder as we're thinking about who's going to be our new first-line center, but the rest of the team is what we are working with right now. Decent players, not a lot of prospects, 2 very good defensemen, 2 starting goaltenders. It is a challenge to say the least, but we're going to work at it. A big thank you to everyone who's super excited down in the comments for this new series. Thank you for the outpouring of love. This is going to be a fantastic series, and I can't wait to have all of your help here to get that done. And all that help means that we're getting a lot of comments. So as you can see down in the comments of every video that I do, I make sure to reply and address every comment, every suggestion, and all that jazz. But now we're getting to a point where there's 60, 70 comments per video. Obviously, I can't really show every single one, or we'll be here for the first 25 minutes of the video. So I just selected a few here and there, but as you will see, I always make sure to address them. So just because I'm not showing them here doesn't mean that they're not in my consideration and in my and affecting my planning. Starting first, going over to Apo, he says, "Bye-bye Kekäläinen, GM data has arrived." Columbus wasn't my first choice, but I feel like I'm still going to very much enjoy this series. Rest in peace, Kiwi. And that opened the door to a lot of other comments, a lot of outpouring of support and love for Matis Kivlenieks. Of course, Matis Kivlenieks, our starting goaltender down in the AHL, who recently just passed away. He is 76 overall with medium backup potential. We're going to do our best to get him a Stanley Cup in this series. A lot of comments building off of what Apo said, talking about would we consider bumping Mattis up to medium starter even, as medium backups don't always develop, and we like to see Mattis be a big part of the future that would allow that to happen. So thank you to Josie for suggesting that. Unfortunately, I can't go back and change anything now that the franchise mode has already begun, but we will give him every opportunity to succeed, and he is in the long-term plans. Even if he's our AHL backup in 10 years, I think he's always going to be in this franchise's plans. Even if he's the third goalie, I'd like to hang on to him as long as possible. Scott Graham also mentioning that when it was pretty clear Columbus was winning, he was curious to see how we would approach the Mattis situation. Do we boost him, or do we keep him realistic, or do we just try and remove him from the game altogether? I can see arguments for all these approaches. Either way, let's win one for him. Getting into the organizational suggestions now, JVR Don says, excited for the new series. I think for realism, you need to trade Seth Jones after the first season, unless you go on a miraculous cup run enticing him to stay. That was a big theme in a lot of comments saying we got to move on from Seth Jones, but I'll address that in a second. Yikes was definitely the right word to describe this organization's lack of prospects. Maybe hold on to your firsts for a bit. We have 3 first-round picks. Maybe hold on at least until your scouts have given you an idea about what options may be available. Jake Vezina also likes the idea of trading Seth Jones since he's probably on his way out IRL. The Blue Jackets lack prospects, and especially defensive prospects. An interesting trade might be Jones to Edmonton for Evan Bouchard and or Philip Broberg plus a draft pick. Jackie says that maybe we should sell and try to get someone good in the draft. Maybe even look to acquire Alex Newhook or Cole Perfetti if we're going to move out Seth Jones, 2 players who are on the trade blocks right now. Could be accepted. Also, please trade for Jason Demers. I know him well, and he is so nice and a great locker room guy. Great vid data. Well, thank you very much. I watch listed Jason Demers. We're going to scout him. I have 25 players watch listed from all the players who were suggested, as you'll be seeing in these comments, like from Scott Salmon saying you definitely need a power forward, maybe Vitaly Kravtsov from the Rangers. I don't know if that's realistic or not, though, but at least we can watch list him now, keep him scouted, and when the door, if and when the door opens down the road, we'll be ready to pounce. Cody says the move is to hold on to our picks, but scrounge up enough depth for the future and see if we can make Jones happy. The big concern is a first-line center, but also the wing. You have tons of snipers, but the plan should be Laine as the guy, right? I would play Jenner with him, meaning you would need to have a playmaker, and you can't trade Cam Atkinson, so that leaves Gustav Nyquist or Oliver Bjorkstrand as the odd man out, letting Domi settle in as number 2 center, unless your coach lines call for the second to be more shutdown, making that Roslovic's spot. So I'll just refresh you on the lines here for what Cody's talking about. I don't want to move Cam Atkinson, even though he's 31 now, not on the best contract. He is just a lifer, I think, on this team. Coming off 40 goals a few years ago. Domi's second-line center would be great. It's that first-line center role, either a playmaker or a sniper to complement the two snipers on the side here, depending if we could move Boone Jenner up to the first line for chemistry purposes. Still a lot to kind of figure out in that regard. And for that top six forward, Vinny James says it might be a little risky, but if we want that, then, and you don't mind trading all your first-round picks, then you can go get someone really good that will stay on the team long term. I wouldn't want to trade all 3 first-round picks, but after hours, the Tampa Bay and the Toronto first-round picks are going to be pretty late picks. And the players that are drafted with those picks in the year number 1 draft will only have a fraction of that trade value after they're drafted. So I don't think it would be very good asset management if we just hold on to those picks and draft some random medium top 9 forward from the QMJHL who'll never make the league. I'd rather try and get something going right now. And that plays into trying to entice Seth Jones to stay on this team. If we start tearing it all down and trading for guys like Newhook and Perfetti with these first-round picks, that's cool, but that means success is still years away. And Seth Jones, we want him to be re-signing here after that contract runs out. So that might mean using those picks to get some help now, and then hoping that, or not hoping that, but planning on Alex Texier, Liam Foudy, etc. growing in like a parallel trajectory. Even Patrick Laine, who remember is only 22 years of age, he can still grow a lot. Moving over to the Discord server, Pat has some suggestions for who should be scouted once we get a coach hired. Number 1, Zack Hyman, now a power forward, expiring deal. IRL, the Leafs likely won't keep his hero, and they definitely won't, coming out with the reports that we're hearing the last couple days. May potentially grow to an 87 to 89, as he did in his series or Tic Tac series. That's some discussions over in the Discord server. It would keep Pat satisfied for at least those 5 videos. Beautiful. Ethan Bear, offensive defenseman, wouldn't cost an arm and a leg. Sims well. K'Andre Miller, if he fits, he is a must for any franchise mode. Josh Norris, now listed as a playmaker with high top 6 potential. We can kick the tires on this beaut. Logan Brown, power forward. Michael Rasmussen, great. And one of these franchises, it will happen. I was going to scout Michael Rasmussen, and I went to Buffalo by accident, forgetting that he's actually on Detroit. So there's my NHL 20 coming back to me. Dougie Hamilton, he's going to be more in free agency. But if we were to have a big guy like Worf, we're talking about those free agents, those created players, that would be something. And Philippe Danault, if Montreal does not repeat history, he was being discussed as a trade piece. And 2 more players, Carter Verhaeghe, who is now a playmaker in the roster edit, after the roster edit, and Patrick Hornquist, who is a power forward and picks up very high shot totals. He is a power forward with 4-star shooting, so that's why. And in his YouTube comment where we were having a discussion on whether or not it would make sense to sign those created players, and I was saying I would be down to get them, just not right now when it would be getting them for free. I'd rather trade for them down the road. He says, you know, gotta follow the Prime Directive, some more Star Trek lingo. And when it comes down to who we should have between Elvis or Korpisalo as the main starter, he is a card-carrying member of the corporation. So I believe Joonas Korpisalo will be getting the majority of the starts for the beginning of the season. We'll see how he does. Elvis has always been a thorn in our sides in all of our franchise modes, but maybe this is the one where he finally does something for us. We're not going to have to acquire him. We're just going to be having him right out the gate here on Columbus. Maybe that'll make him happy. And finishing it off with Nerf's notes, he says to get a coach that gives our top D 100% at least for this season. Like the idea of trading the bottom 2 firsts for 1 or 2 of the younger guys through the league. Newhook, Timmins, Romana, Turcotte, Newhook, all those guys. It's not unbelievable to trade 2 firsts for a young prospect, as we have seen in real life through the years. The biggest thing is getting a coach during the year or early next year. To get some young prospects would be amazing and real to life. Can't wait to see what we do. And I 100% agree that it would be a realistic thing, just it would be kind of accepting that this year's not quite the year, because we really don't have a first-line center. It'd have to be Max Domi, and I don't know, I'd rather use those picks to get that first-line center, make Seth Jones excited to want to stay here, get a good coach that helps for their chemistry, and move on like that. So like I said, there were a lot of comments that I couldn't get to. Already that was a long time in the video for the comments, so thank you for bearing with me. If we go to the watch list, we'll see everyone that was suggested. I made sure to watch list all of them. And of course, we're watching the created player free agents. So guys like Philip Forsberg were suggested, K'Andre Miller, Josh Norris, Sam Girard. A little too much trade value for right now, unfortunately. Sam Reinhardt was someone that is very interesting. I totally forgot to pull up that comment. It was the top comment on the video. My apologies. Adam saying Sam Reinhardt might be a good acquisition. It's realistic as he has been linked to the Blue Jackets recently, and we could use the Maple Leafs or Lightning first to get him. So Sam Reinhardt, a huge possibility. Danault, Kravtsov, Bear, Verhaeghe, Hyman. A lot of trade value. The lower end here, this Lehkonen, Frolik, Donato were ones that I personally watch listed for fourth line two-way forwards. So that's just me, but aside from that, these are all suggestions. Demers could happen as an 82, 1 year left on his deal with not a lot of value, so I could see that happening as well because our defense does need help. So let's start getting into that. We need a first-line center. So when we look at the centers, it's already pretty limited. Norris, Reinhardt, Danault are the options that pretty much present themselves. When it comes to who could be playing on the first line right away, I know Josh Norris will grow and all that, but I need someone right here, right now, while also taking realism into consideration. And I think that it doesn't get more perfect than Sam Reinhardt. Expiring deal, Buffalo Sabres, on the outs, linked to the Blue Jackets in real life. I think this is a match made in heaven. So I'd love to see what the Buffalo Sabres want to talk to me about here. If they say his trade value is not too high, I could give them a first-round pick. Let's say Tampa Bay is first, the least amount of value. And here's who I'm thinking of sending back, because we have to get someone out of that top 6. As Cody said, the odd men out are Nyquist and Bjorkstrand. I think Bjorkstrand is young. I think he has a lot of value. I think he'll be here long term. He was leading the team in points last season. I prefer to keep him. I think the oddest man out is Gustav Nyquist, who was out all last season with injury, is making a lot of money for 3 more seasons, 83 overall. I think moving him right now in the deal with the first-round pick for Sam Reinhardt makes sense. You give the Sabres a nice first-round pick. We give them a top 6 sniper, someone who can be there for 3 more seasons, as opposed to them losing Sam Reinhardt. And I think this is pretty much it. The value's there. I'm going to send this offer. Value is too far off. All right, I expected that. Before I even try throwing anything else into the deal, I'm just going to try giving Toronto's first instead, which has a little bit more value. And to be honest, it'll probably be the better pick because Toronto almost always wins the Stanley Cup in the first season of simulation. So if I give you Gustav Nyquist and the Maple Leafs first-round pick, can you give me Sam Reinhardt straight up for that? Trade accepted. On behalf of the Buffalo Sabres organization, I accept your trade offer. We'll see you out on the ice. Thank you, Buffalo Sabres. That's a huge move for us. That is our first line center. Seth Jones, get excited. That's really, really big. And that's a solid deal as well. A first plus the player that we needed to get out of the top 6 as well. I'm just going to do best lines for the moment. I don't think we're keeping this coach. Probably a better first line fit would be better. So I'm going to keep doing my deals here. What we need to work on is the bottom 6, though, because Grigorenko and Emil Bemstrom as snipers, both not ideal for the fourth line. That's what I said earlier about looking for a fourth line two-way forward. Those are the guys that I pinned down here. Actually, I can unpin Sam Reinhardt now that he's a new member of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Looking at the bottom down here, Artturi Lehkonen, Michael Frolik both provide a lot of interest to me. Frolik is 7 years older, but he's on a cheaper deal. Money's not really a problem for us right now, especially on a 1-year thing. I like Artturi Lehkonen a lot. He was a sniper. I changed him to a two-way forward. He is great in the real world, but in the simulation world, I think Frolik might be a bit better defensively, even though he's not as good offensively. And I think that's probably what we could use. So as much as I really, really love Artturi Lehkonen on the Montreal Canadiens, as a Habs fan especially, I think I got to go with Michael Frolik, who barely got any games. And you know what? This also makes sense from a realism standpoint, because the Habs weren't even playing Michael Frolik. Meanwhile, Artturi Lehkonen's been a big piece for that franchise. So could I trade you something just random with a pick? Just kind of dump a player here. A high AHL top 6 potential for this guy. Or how about this guy? There we go. Carlberg. Medium top 9, 57 overall, 20 years of age. He'll never grow for us. So a random prospect for Laval with a late pick next season, let's say. I have 2 7s, so let's give you Toronto's 7th next year. What do you say, Montreal? Trade rejected. Doesn't meet particularly well. Understandable. Let's try and make it, I guess, a 6th round pick next year. How does that sound? No. Understandable, Montreal. Let's give the pick to this season then. We have 2 5ths. Let's go a Columbus 5th with Carlberg for Frolik. Yeah, they'll accept that. Maybe we can even squeeze a 7th back here. Come on, Bergevino. What do you got to say for me? Ah, wait, Marc. What do you say? There we go. Merci beaucoup, Marc Bergevin. We believe this transaction will contribute to our success here in Montreal, so we are accepting your trade offer. Thank you very much. That helps the fourth line. Merci beaucoup, c'est vraiment apprécié, Marc. So, unpinned from the watch list, welcome Michael Frolik. And last but not least, we're looking at defense, because we don't really have any defense on this team. And the only defenseman that we have pinned, well, that really make the most sense trade value-wise, would probably be Bear or Demers here. Ethan Bear, 2 years left at $2 million, medium top 4D. I don't know if that makes as much sense for the Oilers to trade him out, but I could see it happening. I wouldn't be opposed from a realism standpoint. It's more that I don't think we have the pieces to make it happen. I don't have that trade value. So I'm leaning Jason Demers here. Defensive defenseman, two-way D, 82 overall. We don't have the pieces to get a guy, like I just said, Ethan Bear. It costs us probably Gabriel Carlson and like a third or something. I don't know if I want to do that. So I'd probably just rather take the cheaper option trade value-wise, who could probably do just as much at the moment for us. Just get some roster guys off here. Can I just give you Dubinsky and Czar, whoever this guy is? And then I could throw in, what would make sense here? I don't know, would it be good to give a third? Because we don't have our third next season. We have 2 fourths next year. Okay, let me give you a fourth. Let's just see where we're at right now. They have too many players, of course. So I'll keep Dubinsky just for the laughs. How about just this with the fourth? Not where it needs to be compared to what we're being asked to give up. Could I throw in a New Jersey fifth? So a fourth and a fifth with Czar isn't sufficient at all. I'm kind of lowballing it because they have Demers on the block. So let me just try a third, I guess. I wasn't really wanting to give up a third, but like I said, if there's ever a draft year to do it, it's probably this one. Try a sixth here, still too far off. All right, straight up then. There, they'll do that. So maybe I can take a seventh back next season, but that'll probably be the extent of what I could get from the Coyotes, and there we go. So Jason Demers and a 7th round pick next season for our third this year, and a rando down in Cleveland. Beautiful. So I like those moves. Unpin him from the watch list, and let's check out how the lineup looks now. All right, so I'm liking this lineup a little bit more now. We got Sam Reinhardt, our first-line center. He's played a bit, he did like, 200-300 face-offs last season. He's played a bit of center. He has 77 face-offs. That will grow. It's not a big deal, but he's a great playmaker, playing with 2 snipers on his wing. We can play with which snipers those are. We can move Atkinson up and down. We can move Jenner up and down for chemistry purposes, perhaps. He has a great first-line fit. So in theory, we could get a +3 if he goes on the wing here. So that's definitely an option for us. The only thing is that it doesn't really leave us with a third-line center if we do that. It would move Texier down to the third line, and he has 70 face-offs for League 68. So I guess Rosalick would become the third-line center, and then Texier would move down to the third line as well. But we want Texier to be growing. So that's kind of the issue, but we'll work with it as time goes. Fourth line looks a bit better. Defense looks great. Gavrikov, Demers gets a +3. Carlson, Delzato gets a +3. I know we're thinking about changing coaches, but that's just nice for the moment. We got Korpisalo backed up by Elvis. Down in the AHL, things are looking like this for the moment. Not the best team. I wish this team would be a bit better, so it would help Foodie and Mattis grow. Tarasov is backing him up. He is medium starter, 3rd round pick from 2017. And speaking of wanting to make the AHL team a bit better, if we go and look in free agency, as we were saying last episode, there are some options for players who have some good potential. Of course, Kyle Wood's going to be on his way, hopefully. Sergei Dargachintsev is in free agency. 20 years old, medium top 6 forward. If the Leafs want to let him go to free agency, then be my guest, guys. I'm not going to stop you. I also got Schlappick, a couple guys. So I'm going to send out some contract offers here. We have 45 contracts, and we have 1 offered, so we could take 4 more. So I'm down to offer 3 years to Dargachintsev, max 2-way deal, as well as giving 1 to Philip Schlappick, who's now playing over in Europe. We'll bring him back from Europe and say, how about a spot on Cleveland? And we can do the same thing for Kuffner. He's 24, so just a 1-year deal makes sense for him. And then Jérémy Roy, it says he's on San Diego, but he's in free agency here, so I'm gonna offer him a deal. He's gonna help for chemistry as a 73 overall. So why not just give him a couple of years? Yeah, why not? Keeps him as an RFA as well. So thank you very much to the free agency class. No one wants to sign him, then I will. I'm going to advance a few days now, which will bring us into the preseason. Just let all of my new scouts sign on and all of these new free agents sign on, and then we'll see what's happening here. Minimum salary cap, thank you very much. Let's see how this team simulates as well in the preseason. A little bit of a litmus test for us. And that's a huge 7-1 win. You love to see that. All the scouts are signing on. I think I signed 14 scouts or something. I really overhauled the entire scouting department here. That's what GM Data does. Dargachintsev is on board as well. Love to see that. Jeremy Roy, Kyle Wood, welcome back. Can't have a franchise without Kyle. Schlappick on board, Kuffner on board, lovely. So that'll absolutely help the Cleveland Monsters down here. So if we just best lines it, let's see if that changes up anything. And yeah, so Schlappick second line center is nice. Kuffner, I'll play with this myself later on. Yeah, -3 is not going to happen. So I will play with this off screen. And actually, I totally forgot, while we're in preseason, we have to figure out the coach as well. I started simulating and letting the scouts sign on, but I forgot about the coach. So our current interim head coach, Frederick Haynes, has a 66% team fit. Very good. But when we go and look at the coaches who are available, looking at the associate coaches, there are some interesting team fits here. Especially, 72. Yeah, this is the guy I was thinking about. It's between Prust and Cunning. Cunning has the top fits for Jones and Renski. Give them a +3, +5, whatever. Probably a +3, actually. They're both two-way D, which is great. But we're looking from a team perspective. Line getting the max fit. Reinhardt getting a really high fit as well. That is super, super helpful. His least fit is for guys on the fourth line, so that's fine. So I think Pablo Prust is our man. I would love to give him a contract, see how he does for us, and we'll go from there. So if he ends up being our coach long-term, great. I'm going to give him an 8-year deal. If he doesn't, we just fire him without any repercussions in this virtual world. So I'll give him, you know what, he doesn't really want that much money. So 1 million, that helps the budget. 1.001500 million for 8 seasons. And then I'm going to make sure that the coaching here is all arranged properly. Our former head coach can be our associate coach here for the moment. And then Haynes will get demoted to assistant coach once that guy signs on, hopefully. And that should be good for the chemistry. I'm hoping +3 on that first line. If Jenner moves up there, maybe it's a +5. Who knows? But we'll see what they have to say. So 7-1 win, 4-1 win, 5-4 shootout win. We really started off on the right foot by you offering me a role so ideally suited to my skills. So I gladly accept. Pablo, welcome to Columbus. Let's see how those lines look now with that new chemistry system. +3 on the first line, lovely. The -1 on the fourth line hurts a bit. If we move Boone Jenner up to the first line, we can get +5 if we move out Bjorkstrand. Interesting. So Bjorkstrand would get a +5, well, would take away then only a +1 on the second line though. But it's a +1 regardless. So what if I do like this, like that, like that? It would be so basically, do we want to go +5, +1, 0? Or do we want to go +3, +1, +1? That's what we have to figure out. So the +5, it's too tempting to say no for me. I want to give it a shot. And we can work things out if it doesn't work. So is it Robinson, two-way sniper, two-way, or is it Grigorenko that's killing it? Yeah, not ideal for chemistry. Defense +1, +3, +3, still the same. Gotcha. Even though they're very high fits for the first pair, because they're both two-way D, we can't get much more than that. But I'm very happy that these guys with lower overalls are getting +3s. Special teams, I will work on that myself. And for the fourth line here, I'm not sure what I would do. I can't really call up any of these guys. None of these guys are good enough for the NHL. Bemstrom is my healthy scratch, and he's not good for the fourth line either. So we might have to just swallow that +1, or Frolik switches around. With probably, yeah, I guess that's what we'll have to do. Frolik can go fourth line, and Texe, and then Eric Robinson can go there. Okay, let's continue playing like that. All my scouts are signed on, so give me a moment to fix the special teams in the NHL, all the lines in the AHL, and send out all the scouts. That'll be 0.5 seconds for you and 30 minutes for me. Alrighty, that's all done. Let's continue on in the preseason. 2-1 shootout loss against the New York Rangers. Now we're coming up against the New Jersey Devils. 2-0 loss against them. Nice to see that all the new line changes are working for us. 3-1 loss. That's great. So that +5 has done absolutely nothing for us. That's cool. Let's try and switch things up again. What's not good is that with this coach, there's not a lot of good penalty kill. No good penalty killers is what I'm trying to say. Before, I think there was a +5, +3 on the penalty kill. Now they're just 0 and 0. power forwards, two-way Ds, and even defensive defensemen all get dashes for the line fit, no matter what. So I guess no one just fits this. I don't know how you can fit it. I guess no one does. So that may hurt us. Yes, the coach is good for the offense and the defense, but if we're not going to run with that +5, we're going to keep the +3. The defense get the same chemistry. Maybe we go back to the coach that we already had, and we get +5s on the penalty kill. Maybe that's something we think about. With the lines back to normal, we win 4-2. All right, so we end up going 4-2-1 in the preseason. Doesn't usually mean too much. Just a little test to see how things are looking. And now we're going to be heading into the actual regular season, Game 1 of the 2020-21 regular season here in the NHL. GM data at the helm of the Columbus Blue Jackets in their 20th NHL season at Little Caesars Arena to kick it all off. The new era has begun, and it all starts right here. First period, 1-1, Robbie Fabry on Elvis, even though I put in Korpisalo. I guess they switched him back. And Oliver Bjorkstrand scores the first goal in the new era. Second period, 3-1. Great, Elvis, you're just giving me more and more reasons to not have you out here. Larkin on the power play, and then Moritz Seider. 3-1 Red Wings, but Patrick Laine, there we go, brings us back within 1 on Jonathan Bernier. Power play now, we got +3 on the first unit, nothing comes from it. Shots are tied 22-22, halfway through this third period, and Patrick Laine ties it up with his second goal of the period, but Robbie Fabry, his second of the night, gives Detroit that 1-goal lead once again. 5 minutes to go now. We're getting the shots out here, but Jonathan Bernier standing tall. Late heroics, nothing comes, and we drop it 4-3 the final. Shots were 30-27. Elvis, get out of there. Patrick Laine does score 2 goals in his Columbus Blue Jackets debut, but we're definitely... because it was a home and home, or not home and home, because it was a back-to-back probably. That's why they put in Elvis. But now we got Korpisalo, who's going to be in there. Elvis, 851 save percentage. You hate to see it. But now we're heading home to the Nationwide Arena, where we will be taking on the Carolina Hurricanes, who are also looking for a win after starting their season 0-1. Let's do it. It was a 3-point night from Bjorkstrand. It was 2 goals from Laine. Let's keep that momentum up. First period, 3-0 Hurricanes. Wow. Jordan Stahl, Sebastian Aho, and Jordan Martinook. Wow. 3-0 Hurricanes. Second period, 5-0 Hurricanes. Nice. 3 on Korpisalo, 2 on Elvis. And third period, hey, we scored 3 goals, and it was all for nothing, though. Domi scores once, and 2 more from Patrick Laine. So 4 goals in 2 games to start off Patrick Laine's career with the Columbus Blue Jackets. But 0-2, and I can't really blame the offense. We scored, what now? We scored 6 goals in 2 games. It's not terrible. The defense has been letting me down, especially the goaltending here. How are the plus-minuses looking? 2, 1, 0, 0, -5, -4. Nice. Michael Del Zotto, actually, but I want Carlson to grow. So, Del Zotto, you're out of here. Kukan's coming in. Dean Kukan, undrafted, signed for 2 more years at 1.65 from Switzerland. And goaltending, Korpisalo, 625 save percentage. Yeah, let's put Elvis back in here, I suppose, against the Colorado Avalanche. Let's just start simulating a little bit of time now. Let's get, I don't know, 4 games in. And we'll go see the Philadelphia Flyers, who are also 0-2 at the moment. Sam Reinhardt sprained ankle. Man, just keeps getting better. Domi goes to the first line. Domi comes to the second. Jenner comes to the second. That's +3/+3. That's nice. I guess Grigorenko will go to the third, and then Emil Bemstrom will come to the fourth. Grigorenko, 74 faceoffs. Yeah, Roslovic can go center. Great. So +3/+3 is only out for about a week. 3-2 win against the Avalanche. That's the team we beat. Great. 4-1 loss against the Panthers, followed by a 4-2 win against the Lightning. Sam Reinhart fully healed. Thank you very much. Emil Bemstrom, you do anything in those games? 1 assist in 2 games. Hey, there you go. Reinhardt back out there. All right, keep on simulating. Canucks want to give us Louis Eriksson and a second in exchange for a third, a fourth, and Michael Del Zotto. So basically, give us a third and a fourth, update to a second, and take Louis Eriksson for 2 years at $6 million. At least it's an intelligent offer for once. I will decline it, but at least it's interesting that the AI is thinking a little bit. We're 2-3-0. The Flyers are 1-4-1. Let's please get to 500 here. Go 3-3-0. We don't want to have a rocky start like that. First period, 1-1, Bjorkstrand and JVR. Second period, 3-3. Voracek and Couturier score 2 goals in 24 seconds. But then Eric Robinson scores 2 of his own within 4 minutes. All right, shots are 27-19 for the Flyers, but this game's tied at 3. Thanks to Eric Robinson at the moment with 2 big second period goals, and now Cam Atkinson puts us ahead 4-3, but JVR ties it right back up at 4. It was 3-1 Flyers. Now it's 5-4 Flyers. Couturier second of the night as well. They're on the power play now. We kill that off. And then Frost makes it 6-4. Wow. 6-5. Hold on. Not done yet. Max Domi, 6-5. It's a barn burner with under 5 to go. Shots are 39-24. And any late game heroics? None. 39-26 are the shots in the end. And we drop it 6-5. The defense really gave up on us there. Look at these point totals. For the 3 stars, man. Even when we score 5 goals, we can't win. A 6-5 loss against the Flyers. Boy, I don't know what we could be fixing here, but it has to be something. Because that's brutal. There's got to be something we can fix out here. Line A's killing it. First line's looking good. Second line is okay. Yeah, pretty good. Third line, those 2 goals from Robinson, Jenner, Roslovic. It's the fourth line. Eh? My goodness, the fourth line. It's a roll 3-line team, and this fourth line is atrocious. Terrible. Grigorenko, no points, -6. Frolik, 1 goal, -5. And then Stenlund, -5. We need a better fourth line center, I think. Defense, 1-2, 0, -1, -3, and +2 for Kukan. Okay. And goaltending, Elvis 896, and Korpisalo has not played since. So let's get Korpisalo a start after Elvis let in those 6 goals. Yes, it was on 39 shots, but we'll give Korpisalo a start. And I'm going to see how this team does right here with Korpisalo between the pipes. It may just be Mikhail Grigorenko's last game on this team. Just 7 games into the season it'll be. At home for a big matchup, an old rivalry back in the Central Division when the Blue Jackets were there. Let's do it. The Hawks are 3-2-1. We are 2-4-0. Korpisalo between the pipes and Grigorenko with a lot to prove. So let's do it. First period, 1-0 Boone Jenner. Thank you very much. There's a reason there's an A on his jersey. Second period, 3-0. Seth Jones and Boone Jenner. There's the leadership we need. 2 of our alternate captains scoring 3 goals. Thank you very much. Third period, we're up by 3. Shots are pretty even. Let's hang on tight. Let's get this dub, and let's keep on rolling. Power play for the Blue Jackets, killed off by the Hawks. But with just about 10 to go, we're hanging on to a nice lead. And Stenlund just made it 4-0. That will be all she wrote, and it ends off as a 4-0 shutout victory. There's Korpisalo. Let's go. 28 save shutout. Everyone over in the corporation can get excited. 2 goals from Boone Jenner, a goal from Seth Jones, and that is the team that we want to be seeing out there on the ice. Okay. So I'm going to keep Korpisalo in net for a few games. That shutout bottom at least a few starts. I'm going to turn off auto-rotate goalie. We're going to keep a close eye on Mikhail Grigorenko, and then we'll go from there. You know what? We may as well go see the Buffalo Sabres. That'll be a nice matchup. Reinhardt versus Nyquist. 4-3 loss against the Arizona Coyotes. And the St. Louis Blues, we beat them 5-2. We're 4-5-0. Sabres are 5-2-3. So we'll do this one. Going on a little Western road trip. Game starts off with a nice Casey Middlestat goal. Lovely. First period. Ends 2-1, though, as Alex Texier and Kevin Stenlund come through for us. And we're up 2-1 heading into the second period. 3-1 now, thanks to Jack Roslovic. Let's go. 26-13 of the shots. We're doubling them. But power play, 5-on-3 power play for the Sabres. 5-on-4. We kill that off. That's huge. They got 5 shots across that power play. We're still holding on to our 2-goal lead halfway through this period. Shots being 31-21. Linus Ullmark putting on a show for them, and Korpisalo just doing enough for us, and that will be enough for the victory. Drake Kajulas, there we go, with 23 seconds left he scored, but we hang on. 34-27 were the shots, and we win it 3-2. Game-winning goal going to Kevin Stenlund, I believe, or no, sorry, Jack Roslovic. First star of the night. 25 saves from Korpisalo, and 2 assists from Michael Frolik. There you go. Let's keep on simulating with Korpisalo in there. He's done pretty well. And we may as well go see a back-to-backer. So we'll do Korpisalo against the Caps, and we'll get Elvis in against the Rangers. Matt Martin and a third for a third, a fourth, and Del Zotto. What is that? A fifth for a sixth and Del Zotto. No, I like Del Zotto. I don't want to trade him. Francouz and a fifth for a third, a sixth, and Del Zotto. Ah, that's interesting, I guess, but no. At least they're getting interesting sometimes. Kukan, injured knee, out to the 15th of November. Not a long injury at all. So that's where we can slot in Michael Del Zotto on that third pair. He struggled to begin the season, but hopefully he can wake up a little bit now. A fifth and a sixth for a fourth and Del Zotto. What? You give me a better pick and a player, I'll give you two worse picks. What is that? All right, so in those games that we simulated, 4-2 loss against the Wings and 5-4 win against the Sharks, 1-0 shootout win against the Kings, so there's a shutout. 5-4 loss against the Ducks, 2-1 win in the shootout against the Stars, 3-0 shutout loss against the Caps. We are 8-8-0, not quite good enough. 18 points in 16 games for Oliver Bjorkstrand, who's doing extremely well. We'll get Elvis in nets for a little bit of an opportunity here, as he's still with that .899 save percentage. Korpisalo, .902, so doing quite well. But I will give Elvis the crease just for a quick sim here against a team that's also 8-8-0 at the moment. The winner goes 9-8-0, and that's us. 2-0 shutout for Elvis. Okay, we're 9-8-0. The Rangers go 8-9-0. Thank you very much. That's what we needed to see from Elvis. Big shutout victory. That buys him a few starts. And we may as well go see... Let's go see our old captain, Nick Foligno, over on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Kukan is back and good to go. Let's see if Del Zotto improved a little bit from what he was doing beforehand. He's now -4. Okay, so he was -5, I think, with no points. Now he has 1 assist, -4. So not bad at all, Michael Del Zotto, MDZ. 4-1 win against the Dallas Stars. Love to see that. Florida Panthers, we beat them 5-4. Thank you very much. And Gabriel Carlson, bruised arm. So we'll go Kukan and Del Zotto on that bottom pair. +1 probably. No, +3. Okay, there we go. They're playing like 81 and 82. 7-3 win against the Hurricanes. That's huge. We are now 12-8-0 going up against the 12-7-1 Toronto Maple Leafs. Nice. Let's see what we got here against our old captain. First period, 2-0 Leafs. Wayne Simmons and Mitch Marner on the power play. Second period, 2-1. Jason Damaris brings us back into this one on Jack Campbell. Down by 1 heading into the third, being outshot by 3. And Eric Robinson ties this game up at 2. Let's go. We've got ourselves a game here, but Willie Nylander restores that 1-goal lead for the Maple Leafs. Shots are still very even halfway through this final period. 8 minutes to go. Eric Robinson, we need something from Bjorkstrand, line A. Power play, extended power play for the Leafs. You can't score like that. We kill it off, but we still need a goal late. But no one wants to give it to us. Shots were 30-29 in the end for the Leafs. And we drop it 3-2. Campbell made 27 saves. Boy, we just need to get a little bit more scoring. We're getting these goals from these guys in the bottom, but where are the top scorers? I know Bjorkstrand's been doing great, but I'm not seeing much from Texier or Domi or really Atkinson. So let's go see the next back-to-backer, and that'll be a start for Joonas Korpisalo. Maple Leafs, we lose 5-4 again. Great, so back-to-back losses against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I think now's the time to try and make something happen, because if we just stay a few games above 500 all year long, this is not going to be a playoff team. So it might be time to make something happen here with that other first-round pick maybe. I don't know. Elvis has a .903 save percentage, 3.04 goals against, so we'll get Korpisalo in there. How's the defense? Sorry, Grigorenko looking. He's a -5 with 2 points in 22 games. I know he's not getting a lot of ice time, but that's pretty scary. Frolik is doing well, 8 points in 22 games. Robinson, the second line. Second line actually is okay. They're doing all right. I guess just not in the slow sim. I haven't seen much in the slow sim. They're doing well. Okay, so is the first line. Maybe it comes down to the defense. +2, +4, -1, -3, -2, and +8. If I could put Gavrikov to the third pair and get someone better to play with Jason Damaris, that might be the move. Get a good 84, 85 overall defenseman with that other first-round pick. I think that might be the move. So let me just quickly go see where are the Lightning and the Maple Leafs right now. Would it be a good idea to trade this Lightning first-round pick? In the entire league, they're the 4th best team. So yeah, it would make sense. The Maple Leafs are up there as well. So it would make sense to trade that pick. We just got to figure out who is the right defenseman to play with Damaris on that second pair. And then at the same time, if we could get a 4th line center out of it. So ideally, Grigorenko and a first for an 84 overall two-way D, and a fourth line center, something like that. So let me do some research on that. All right, so here's an idea I'm thinking about over on the Edmonton Oilers. Tyson Barrie, 1 year left on his contract. He currently has 12 points in 22 games, plus 10, offensive defenseman, and he fits Pablo Prust's top 4 defensive scheme. On an expiring deal, the Oilers know that he's probably not coming back. He's on the 50% retained already from the Avalanche deal. Couple that with also taking Kyle Turris off their hands, who they're not happy about having. He has 4 points, -5, whatever. Fits our third line, which I think is very similar to our fourth line. So should be an okay fourth line center for us. I'll give you Grigorenko. Dubinsky's just for the contract spots. And you get a first round selection, something you desperately need because you don't have a lot of good prospects in your system. As you can see here, we created Holloway, but they have some good defensive prospects. It's more the forwards. They have Lavoie, McLeod, drops off after that. I'm just trying to make it make sense in my mind here. Would they trade Tyson Barrie? I'm not sure. But they do have good defense. It's not like they would have no one playing if they trade away Tyson Barrie. They could use the pick, and they could also get rid of Kyle Turris, which they've been wanting to do. So if I offer that, the value is just not there whatsoever, it says, but it is fairly close. Well, maybe a third and a sixth. What do you say to this, Edmonton? Still doesn't meet the block particularly well. Could throw in a third. This is probably the final offer. Barry's good for chemistry. We can get him re-signed long-term. We're giving you a second and a third. So a first this year, a second next year, a third the year after to take off your hands Kyle Turris, and you get something for Tyson Barrie, who is probably going to walk. Still doesn't meet the block particularly well. So guess that won't happen. Option number 2 now. Here's a deal that makes a little bit more sense maybe. We're taking Tyler Bozak off the hands of the St. Louis Blues. 1 year left at $5 million. That frees up cap space for them. They're going to lose him for anything anyways. Good two-way forward. He can play fourth line for us. And then we also can get Justin Faulk. They already have Torrey Krug on the team. Maybe they're not too happy with how he played last season. Not sure. He only has 7 points, -11 here in 21 games. But he fits all the defensive pairings and penalty kill of Pablo Prust. So getting him in with the chemistry might be a big help for us as well. He's already signed long-term, so that wouldn't be a risk or anything like that. We give you a first-round pick. You're a fringy team. You get a first, and then you just get random pieces with it. Maybe this makes more sense. This is still not meeting the block particularly well, but the value is lower at least, which makes me a bit more hopeful. If I throw in a third-round pick, how close do we get now? They're not particularly interested. Big issue is that we have almost nothing to offer these teams when it comes to trying to throw in pieces for trades. Hajorth here, and here's next year's second, I guess, 2022 second. Makes sense we have to pay up for a player that has a lot of term. Third, fourth, sixth, still not very interested. Fourth and a sixth, doesn't meet the block particularly well. Not interested. And trade accepted. Have to do it straight up. Okay, so that's brutal because we lose our second round pick next season. We also give Tampa Bay's first this season, which is going to be a late first. We give up Grigorenko, whatever, get him out of our hair. We get a new, better fourth line center. We get a real second pairing defenseman who's going to be good for chemistry and sends a message to the rest of the league, puts the league on notice that we are in business. We are serious to try and make a run for the playoffs and the cup in the future. Let's fix up these lines and let's start winning some games. Because the trajectory that we were on was starting to get me nervous now. So Bozak, he has nice fit on the fourth line. Good. And if we move things around, no. Just keeps the 0. All right, no problem. On defense, Gavrikov's going to go to the third pair. I know it's only a +1. But if we, unless we put Gavrikov on the second pair because he's a defensive defenseman, only a +1 as well here. Faulk fits best in the first unit. So we could put Faulk on the first unit with Seth Jones, but 2 right-handers. I'd have to go something like this. Could anybody play with Jones? No, I don't want to give Jones second pair, really. So I'll probably just keep them as is. Gavrikov, oh, okay, +1, 5, 3 is exactly what we will do then. +1, 5, 3. Faulk and Gavrikov +5, so 85 for Gavrikov and 89 for Justin Faulk. And then Demaris 85, Kukan 81. That's nice. Special teams, let me fix this up. +5, +1. Okay, there we go. Penalty kill, it told me that he fit. Yeah, he does, but because he's an offensive defenseman, it kind of just balances out because he's not going to give a plus because of the chemistry system. So, okay, we can do that. And then I'll just slot him in on a few other lines as well. All right, and there we go. So +1 on the 4-man power play, blah, blah, blah. There we go. So St. Louis Blues, it was extremely costly to get that done. I guess that made it more realistic. But let's keep on simulating now. We got Grigorenko out of here. We're still struggling kind of in the goaltending. We're not sure what we're going to do with that. But getting Justin Faulk on this team may have been exactly what we needed, especially with that +5. Oof. That's going to be really, really juicy. So here, let's start off against the Pittsburgh Penguins at PPG Paints Arena. They're 9-10-2. We're 12-10-0. First game with Faulk in the lineup. First period, 1-0. Alex Texier on the power play with that new +5 in that first unit. Let's go. Second period, no scoring. Shots are 22-18 in our favor. We're only up by 1. Power play, this could be a big opportunity for us. And Oliver Bjorkstrand scores just as it expires on Casey DeSmith, who's now in nets, as Jerry, I guess, got pulled, presumably due to injury. Halfway through the third period, shots are 27-20. Another power play for us now. That one's killed off by the Penguins, but Zach Werenski makes it 3-0 nonetheless after time expires. 3-0 with under 3 minutes to go. And that will be a 22-save shutout in a 3-0 victory. Jonas Korpisalo getting first star of the night. Alex Texier the game-winning goal. And that is a nice debut for Justin Faulk here in the lineup. Let's get some good simulation done and check back in on this team into the month of December. So let's go and see any games against St. Louis. No. Vegas is a good team. Let's go see them. They're 16-6-3. I'll be stopping as the calendar simulates just to get the goalies switched around, but I'll check in with you on the 17th of December when we take on Vegas. Gabriel Carlsson back from injury. Does he keep the +3? Yes, he does. Beautiful. So Carlson, keep growing, buddy. Keep doing what you're doing. Just to quickly inform you, 3-1 win against the Red Wings. I keep getting offered Francouz. A third in Delzato. What are they saying? But things seem to be going swimmingly well. 3-1 win, 8-4 win. No need for me to even pause yet. Of course, there's a 5-1 loss. But the goaltending has been pretty solid thus far. 2-1 shootout win against the Flyers. 3-1 loss against the Capitals. Big 7-5 win against the Canucks. Kings, we beat them 3-2. Okay. Anaheim Ducks, we beat them 7-4. And just like that, we're 20-12-0. And the Vegas Golden Knights are 22-10-3. May as well keep Elvis between the pipes. Or, I don't even, is it Elvis or Korpisalo who we've been rolling with here? First period, 4-2. Yeah, it's been Korpisalo. So he lets in 3 goals here in the first period. Elvis comes back in, and he lets in a goal with 14 seconds to go. Domi and Atkinson scoring on Leonard for us. Yikes. 4-2 after the first period. Second period, 5-3 goal apiece. Stenlund and then William Karlsson, former Columbus Blue Jacket. Shots 23-18 for Vegas, and we're down by 2. A lot of scoring for them. That early 3 goals, those 3 early goals are going to kill us in the end, and we're just not getting anything going here in the third. Cody Glass scores. Let's just call it a day. 6-4 loss. Bjorkstrand adds 1. Yikes. Yeah, we're going to get Korpisalo out of there. Elvis can get some starts. Korpi's been doing very well, but it's, yeah, give him a break, the poor guy. Korpisalo has a .909 save percentage with 2.70 goals against average. Very nice. Elvis, 900 with a 3.21 goals against. So I'll give him a few starts. Hopefully he can build on those numbers and run with it. If not, we'll just go back to Korpisalo. And you know what I totally forgot to do? We got to see where these free agents went. These created players. I was waiting to get a couple weeks into the season to get them signed, and I totally forgot to go back and look. So let's see, where did our created players sign in the end? Let's do it. So here we go. Worf Rozhenko goes to the New Jersey Devils. Shoo! 3 goals, 3 assists, -11 through 31 games played, 82 overall, medium elite, defensive defenseman. Like we said, if you didn't see in the last episode, these created players were created by, according to who finished in the top 5 of our Fantasy Hockey League this last season. Worf Rozhenko was my created player. Ralph Recker still yet to be signed. Interesting. No one wants to sign him, but Michael Oliver did get signed by the Buffalo Sabres. He has 9 goals, 1 assist, -8 in 34 games. He's an 80 overall grinder with 5-star shooting, but a lot of 36s when it comes to the puck skills. So somehow he's making it happen with the goals, but not the greatest passer, we can say that. He is a -8. And then, so Ralph Recker was not signed. And goaltenders, any of those signed? Only Coconut Hobbs to the LA Kings. And he's been playing quite a bit, actually. He's 12-6-1 with 3 shutouts. In the AHL. But still, 911 save percentage, 2.31 goals against average. Not bad at all. Coconut Hobbs. And McIntyre and LaForge still yet to be signed. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So we'll keep an eye on that. And I think the next game that we have is up against the New Jersey Devils, so we may as well go see Worf Rajenko, Klingon himself. They are 12-16-4. We are 20-13-0. Let's see him at Nationwide Arena at home in front of the fans. First period, 1-1 game, Seth Jones and Nico Hischier. Second period, 2-1 as PK Subban puts the Devils up. 24-19 of the shots for New Jersey, but Cam Atkinson ties it up early in the third period, a minute in, and we have a new game as Patrick Laine extends it now, and Jason Demers gives us a 2-goal lead. That's 3 goals in just about 3.5 minutes for us. It's now 4-2 for the Blue Jackets. Power play if the Devils are killed off. Up by 2. Make that up by 3 as Aaron Dell's in nets now. Max Domi makes it 5-2, and that'll be it. 5-2 the final. Shots were 32-28, but Elvis playing very well. Gets 30 saves, second star of the night. Jones a goal and assist, first star. Atkinson goal and assist, third star. We will take that. Lovely. So I'm going to roll Elvis against the Flyers. I'm going to put Korpisalo in against the Devils, and then we'll keep on going. Then we have actually another back-to-back right after that. Well, we're closing on the end of this episode as we're getting to the month of January. Flyers shut us out 3-0. Fantastic. Let's get Korpisalo back in for the Devils. That's done. We'll just simulate that one in the calendar. I'll give him this game against the Devils and then the game against the Rangers. And then we'll go back to Elvis for the game against the Maple Leafs. 2-1 shootout loss and then a 3-0 shutout victory. All right, pretty hot and cold out here. That was our first loss beyond regulation this season. We're 22-14-1 now. Elvis back in. There we go. This will be one of the final games of the season we see because we're now through 37 games. Yeah, we'll go to game 41 as always, which will be up against the Florida Panthers. So we'll simulate up to there. Toronto Maple Leafs. It's interesting. Kurashev, 2 fourths and Delzato for Kurashev. He is a low top 6 forward. 2 years left on his deal. 78 overall. 21 years of age. This is not a bad deal at all, actually. I like this. Fits our second line as a playmaker. He has 23 points in 30 games. You know what? Because the episode's about to finish, this deal will still be on the table in a couple days, so I won't accept it now. But let me know your thoughts on that. Philip Kurashev, I know it'll take more of our picks. They are next year's picks, 2022. Could we afford to give those up? Yeah, probably. It dries up the reserve a little bit. I don't like having to trade Delzato. But let me know your thoughts on that. Not a bad deal. I like it. I'd probably accept it if the episode wasn't about to finish. 5-0 loss against the Maple Leafs. That's not nice. 2-1 shootout loss against the Ottawa Senators. And then the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's keep it. Max Domi injured elbow. Only out to the 12th of January, though. So only about a week and a half. Jenner moves up. Bozak moves up. And then Bemstrom comes onto that fourth line. Nice. Hurricanes, we beat them 5-1, thank goodness. So we're 23-15-2 at the moment. We'll switch goalies one last time and hope to end off this episode on a high note. Korpisalo, get in there. And here we are at the BB&T Center. Panthers are 18-18-3. We're 23-15-2 here for the exact halfway mark of the season. First period, 3-0 Panthers. Very nice. Thank you, Elvis. Second period, 4-0. Thank you, Elvis. Shots are 24-11. Thank you, offense, for doing absolutely nothing. 11 shots in 40 minutes of play. Power play for the Panthers. 5-on-3, 5-on-4. We kill it, and let's just call it a day. We break the shutout. Hey, Robinson. That was really shameful. That was a tough way to end off the episode. Elvis seems to not do very well in the slow sim, but in the calendar, he does a lot better. Regardless, let's end off this episode through the 41 games that have been played. Oliver Bjorkstrand doing very well with 37 points. Domi has 34 in 40. Texier and Atkinson both with 33 in 41. Sam Reinhardt 32 in 39. He's doing very well for that first line. Patrick Laine 18 goals and 29 points. Justin Faulk now, what has he done specifically with us? 17 points in 19 games and a +8. Yes. He has been a huge part of this team. Thank you, Justin Faulk. Seth Jones has 21 and 41. Boone Jenner 18. Werenski 18. Roslovic 16. Robinson 5 goals and 9 points. Bozak, what has he done down on our fourth line? 6 points and a +3 in 19 games. Absolutely eat that up every meal of the day. Frolik 9 points. Stenlin 8 points, -5. Demaris -10 with 8 points. Carlson 7 and 37. Kukan 6 with a +8 though. I'm tempted to put Kukan over Carlson, but I don't know. Gavrikov 5 and 41. And a +3, Bemstrom, Delzato, etc. Goaltending, Korpisalo 15, 7-1 with 4 shutouts. Yeah, I think Korpisalo is our guy. 916 save percentage, 2.50 goals against. Elvis 8, 11-1 with a shutout. Not terrible, but not great. 903 and a 3.04. Do we want to trade Elvis or keep him just as our backup moving forward? I'm not sure. It's not like he has a crazy amount of trade value. There's not a lot of trades we could really make. If we made a deal, it'd have to include Elvis because he has our most value. I wouldn't want to trade any more picks. I'm talking like big moves. Depth moves we can still do. But big moves, I think this is the team. Regardless, always got to do our due diligence, as Johnny Superbman says. We will go check out the trade blocks, and then we'll call it a day. Walensky on the Ducks. I'll just really fly through this. Coyotes, Bruins, Kajula, Skinner. No one on the Flames. Prospects. I'm going to sort by overall as well. Jonathan Toews on the block. Peary, Smith, Kershev, like we said. Very interested in him. Carpenter, the list goes down there. Avalanche still have Newhook, Timmins, Kaut, Bowers all on the block. Very tempting moves. Bowers is probably the one that's calling me the most here. I can see Shane Bowers doing very well. That would be a good acquisition in terms of overall age potential and value. Bowers looks very interesting. Just, again, what do we trade for him? Harley, Stranges, Eriksson, Sam Gagner, Bouchard, Holloway, Broberg, Lavoie. A lot of prospects on the Oilers up for grabs. Juleson, Lustenarnen, Heponiemi, Lundell, Noel, Surdif, Sodergaard, Madden, Ryan Suter, who just got bought out, Cale Fleury, Alex Romanov, Paling, Brook, Gooley, Teasdale on the Canadians, Ryan Ellis and Matthias Ekholm both on the block for the Predators. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Yarncrow, McGinn, Spiza, etc. 9 assists and a -10 from Ekholm, 14 points, -7 for Ellis. It's been a tough go. Has it been, yeah, they're 19, 19, and 5. Okay. Devils, no one really. Islanders, you got Leddy, Eberle, Nelson, Lee, Bailey, Palmieri. The whole team is still up for grabs over there. They are 24, 15, and 1, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense, though, for them to trade everybody. I'm not sure why they're always all on the block. Rangers, Senators, Flyers, Penguins, nobody really. Sharks, Burns, Couture, Kane, and Vlasic. Blues, yep. Lightning, Radish, Barry, Boulet, Kachuk, Morin. Maple Leafs, Robertson, Amirov, Hollander, Abramov, etc. Barchi, Eriksson on the Canucks. Vegas, Coughlin, Krebs, Leschizin. Capitals, Johansson, Alexiev, Heinola, Perfetti, Green. And there we go. There are the trade blocks. As well, here are the league leaders at the moment when it comes to points. Marner, Nylander, McDavid, Eichel, all the usual suspects are up there. Jonathan Toews killing it for someone on the trade block especially. So good for all of them. Ovechkin has 23 goals. What I want to look at was goalies here. Are there any low overall goalies that are really doing well right now? Like Mike Smith, who we could look at getting as a backup to if we were to move Elvis Merzlikins. But if they're acting like a starter, then it wouldn't really make sense to get Mike Smith. But is there a backup who's played less games who would make more sense? Like, let's say if I sort by save percentage, I look at someone who's played like 8 games. Chris Drieger, for example. There's a good example and a realistic one. I like that. And they're a team that's at like 500. Ooh, Chris Drieger could be exactly what we're looking for. They're 19, 18, and 3. They have Bobrovsky. Not a lot of value. Yeah, Chris Drieger. Keep that in mind. Going back here, Thomas Greiss is a bit older, though. Lankinen's kind of playing as a starter. He's always great in there. Cam Talbot, he's signed long-term, though. Not bad, though. Really good numbers from him. 1.83 goals against, but Drieger, smaller sample size, crazy numbers. And according to goals against average, kind of the same story. Curtis McElhaney on the Lightning, perhaps, but he's a lot older, so it would really be just a one-year thing, most likely. And then there's Kevin Boyle even. Okay. I was looking at team stats. We currently sit in a playoff spot, 11th in the NHL, 48 points with a record of 23, 16, and 2. We are scoring pretty well, but we're also letting in 2.76 per game. Power plays at 21.1%, which is one of the better teams in the NHL. And our penalty kill at 84%. Okay. Not quite at the top, but just squarely in the middle. Even the higher half, I'd say, slightly. So the special teams have not been a big problem for us at all. All right, so there are some ideas for us. Heading into next episode, my friends, the second half of our first season. We're currently 23-16-1. We're turning things around. Justin Faulk was a huge move. Sam Reinhardt, all those other things. So thank you for those suggestions. Looking forward to hearing more of your suggestions in the next one. You can leave those down here in the YouTube comments or over on the Discord server, link in the description for that. Thank you so very much for watching. Leave a like if you are excited for this series, and consider subscribing as well so that you're made aware of all the uploads, including our NHL 07 Dynasty mode with the Atlanta Thrashers. So thank you one more time so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.